Hey, what's up guys? Jake with Legacy 4x4 here again, and today we're going to be doing another quick project with my brother-in-law while he's here in town. And bonus points, this is going to be the first video where I actually use my new laser engraver that I've had for a few months now and that I've never actually used yet. Anyways, let's go and get started. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a project that I've wanted to do for a while, and that is to put some skins on the doors for the Willys. And then I also would like to make the skins have the Legacy 4x4 emblem engraved into them. So to do this, pretty simple, just to start out, we're going to cut out some sheet metal to kind of fit these doors, fit them perfectly and kind of provide the skin. We'll weld them onto place, paint everything and let it dry, and then we'll set up the Ortur Laser 2 and see if you can pull off some of that freshly dried paint to engrave the Legacy logo into it. The plasma cutter does not have the ability to cut to the level of detail that the Legacy logo has, so I have to use the laser in order to make a project like this to the level of detail and in the size that I want this to be. So it should be a fun project, should be a quick little amount of fabrication followed by a little test of this laser, and it should result in a nice clean appearance on the side of the Willys. Anyways, to start out, let's get out some sheet metal and let's make these skins first. Alright, so to catch you guys up on this, if you hadn't seen the previous video where I made this frame and the attachment points on the truck itself, these tube doors are made out of 1.5 inch by I think 90 wall DOM. I just had some of it when I made these doors, but these work pretty well. But I've been meaning to do a skin on these doors for quite a while. For the skin, I'm going to use some 14 gauge sheet metal. I happen to have the majority of a half sheet here, which is plenty of steel for what we need. The CNC portion of my plasma cutter is throwing a code with the torch height sensor right now, and so I don't want to try to use it since the torch height sensor is not working properly. And the last time Matt was here, I broke the hand torch on it. So we're going to be cutting this out using a grinder, doing it the old slow way, but it'll work just fine. So we're going to do it like that. What I'm going to do is mark out the edges around this door on this sheet metal, take the door off, and then cut the sheet metal to the right size to fit perfectly with this door. So let's start on that. All right, so as you can see here, we got those doors completely cut out and mocked up on top of the tubes. Now we're just gonna go through and tack weld these into place. Once they're all tack welded, we'll come through with the flap disc and kind of smooth out some of the rough edges, and then we're gonna give them a coat of paint and let that dry before we go over to the laser and start lasering off some of that paint. Anyways, let's tack these into place. All right, so Declan just got all of these doors welded up. I just tacked them into place and then Declan went through and welded everything in for the final pass on all of these. They look pretty good considering he doesn't have much experience welding. I think these welds work great and they're gonna do just fine for these little skins on this Willys. Let me show you guys what this looks like, and then we're gonna clean off these doors, kind of get rid of some of those rough edges, and then take them outside for paint. Not too bad for his third time welding. Not too bad at all.
Your paint got smoother than mine.
Hell yeah, it is.
All right, so we got the doors all finished up finally. We had to do a little weird stuff with the laser to get the laser high enough up to clear the doors, since the doors are too big to fit underneath the laser normally. They turned out okay, considering this was our first time ever using the laser, and we didn't really have like a setup to perfectly center all this stuff. I'm happy enough with how this turned out. Not sure how well y'all can see this, but this is what this logo turned out to look like on here. It looks pretty good, so we're going to install these on the truck now, and I'll give you guys a quick walk around and some updates on the rest of the truck.
Wait a second. Yeah, that you can clearly see.
All right, so this is what the doors look like installed. You've obviously seen at least the structure of these doors installed before on my last video where I actually made that structure. Obviously it connects with some bullet hinges here on this piece of the roll cage, and then back here there's a little extension coming from the back piece of the roll cage to make the door close, like so, with these trail gear latches up here. You can see the emblem down here. It's kind of hard to see unless you get really close to the truck, but that was truthfully what I wanted. It's a nice subtle touch that really shows what this truck is and where this truck came from, and it's not a big flashy thing. The rest of the truck is flashy enough already as it is. We got those two doors finished. Let me show you guys what else we got finished up on this truck, and then we'll talk about what comes next. All right, so back here on the back of the truck, we have the CB antenna radio mount here. The antenna radio wire comes through the back of the Jeep here, routes down behind underneath the fuel cell, and then the wire is just up here, reaching out just above the Jeep there. Again, another nice subtle touch. Obviously you can see it, but nice and subtle. To make this, I just took a piece of 1/8 inch steel, drilled a hole in it, and welded it to the inside of the roll cage there to get it out of the way, and then just use an adapter to mount it down. We also filled in the rear radiator with coolant to start getting some of the coolant through this system. I still have to do the transmission cooler lines. I haven't got to those yet, but that is one of the last few things on this truck that needs to get done before we can try to start it. And then up front. Moving up front here, and you can kind of see I've got the new Holley carburetor fully mounted with the Edelbrock air cleaner on top of it, because obviously I don't care about brands or anything, and it does not drive my OCD crazy at all. Otherwise, we also mounted all of the different vacuum lines, did a lot of the plumbing. The only thing we're waiting on up here for the carburetor is for the fuel inlet adapter that goes down here to adapt to my 3/8 inch fuel line. That should be coming in pretty soon, and then we can start trying to actually put some fuel in here and start this truck. Otherwise, we've just been tidying up some things and got a lot of the other work already finished. With all that stuff done, the next step for this truck is going to be to try to start it and to time it and all the other kind of stuff. So I might make a video about that. Not entirely sure. It's not really exciting content, so we'll see what I end up doing with that. If not, you'll at least get a full walk around this truck once I get everything started and running. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all like this. I enjoyed the opportunity here to work with Declan and get some cool little projects done on the truck, as well as an opportunity to use that laser for the first time. I'm sure as I use that laser a little bit more, I'll get a little more comfortable with it, and I'll also be able to make a lot better products with it as time goes on. But for now, I'm happy with the results from the first time using that laser. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.